he's an intuitive player for a young player. He gets it. He understands how to structure points. He knows what wins. And that's an intuitive thing. It's a natural process in some ways. Tiafoe here, hitting one on the frame there too. So this is the enigma for me of Frances.
Got it.
Look, I tell you, if you were a coach and you were watching Frances Tiafoe in this first game and you saw him come in 3 times, wouldn't you? Because that one, this is just a terrible volley. I'm sorry. That's like handing. Not only did he go the wrong way, he hit it near the service line.
Because if you're not, Medvedev is absolutely ruthless.
Great feel. He can hit the ball flat to the net, consistently in, and that helps his depth as well. So he'd be a difficult customer to play against from the back of the court because of his depth.
Lost his last couple of matches at the end of last year. He's lost a couple already here. Vucevic and Doha and Auckland respectively, but he's on the board here. A good reaction from Tiafoe. Talking about Tiafoe's year being a bit light last year, 5 losses, and just did a quick calculation. The average rank of player that he lost to last year was 56 in the world. You think, oh, doesn't look like a great year. That's too good. And then you see Novak, Roger, Rafa.
It means you're playing the best players in the world.
You're playing the best, and suddenly you realise why their year looked a little like.
You don't always have to produce a picture-perfect shot.
Medvedev.
So he comes from a great height, does Medvedev. That helps. Hits his second serve reasonably flat as well, so he's a flat trajectory player. But he's 6'5", and part of the enigma of him, he's a serious tennis player, Medvedev. But probably doesn't appear to be to a lot of people. Great understanding. Oh, well, he gets the luck in that game too, twice. 2 breaks now.
4 games to 1.
But I guess one of the reasons I was talking about that sort of record for Medvedev in terms of his wins against the Americans, how he's only lost a couple of times.
They know what tension they want, but just looks that way to me with him. He's good, isn't he?
He's bordering on genius, I think.
He picks the right shot virtually every time. He gets, even with his flat trajectory, he hits at the right speed to create that angle. Yeah, wait for it.
And maybe he should have done. Tiafoe coming in, there's his support crew here, and that was an important game for him. Certainly feel a little more a part of it than he did up to that stage. He's got away with that.
Took a few too many easy breaths at 4-1 double break.
Yeah, and he's just geeing himself up there as well, because these are slightly awkward conditions, and if you start just taking your foot off, it Can't start playing a little havoc with your stroke. That was a big time forehand.
It was. He needed it too.
Mr. Tiafoe challenging the call, right baseline. The ball was called in.
I think he knows.
Ball stand.
Is amazing.
He kept asking the question, Francis, didn't he?
We're actually planning to have Daniil Medvedev born in France, but he came a little early. He's always been in a hurry. He wouldn't have been a bad musketeer, would he? The cruelest of cuts for Tiafoe, but what racket work there from Medvedev.
Now that is clever. Very clever. Just watch this. Watch the racket face here. Magnificent. That's talent. That's knowing where your racket face is. And absolutely deliberate.
What a sequence of shots from the Russian. Oh, and then he just goes back to being his surgical best as well.
And a beautiful pass, taking the speed off the ball deliberately again.
Well, you don't have to be such a great volley if you're going to come in on approach shots like that. Hit your volley, and again.
No hesitation was there. He knew the shot was good enough to move in. Way to move forward there. It was absolutely the right move. He knew he had Medvedev stretching and off the racket. If there were two-hander, well, he kept two hands on it, but he couldn't get any purchase on the ball.
Game, Tiafoe.
Good strong game there.
He is down another 10 Ks on his first serve as well, which is... The couch has a very firm imprint of me.
Good foot speed there from Francis. But the Russian with some finesse.
Looking at him very carefully, if he was wielding a knife in the kitchen, the way that he hits a forehand volley.
Well, he broke the wrist there, you can see in slow mo. And the Australian Open is on.
Oh, that is again just a little improvisation. Just with the injection of pace on the pre. Look at that. It's ripped up the back of the ball there, Medvedev. Well, he's being forced to work hard for his points. They need to be very, very careful. You feel as though Medvedev definitely has designs on this particular returning game. Tiafoe levels things up in the second tool.
2 games all.
This time his volley fails him. And Tiafoe deserves that.
Offering up the opportunity here, and we've been talking about that forehand volley. I mean, the technique on that, it looked as though he was volleying a small incendiary device, didn't it?
Love 15.
Surgeon with that backhand pass. I'd leave that one in the bag, Francis.
And the strategies work well. 3 break points.
I think generally he'd rather be the aggressor, wouldn't he? But I'm sure. But you picked it on the right on it again, Mark. I like that play.
I can serve a little bit harder and flatter down the tee on the ad side, because, as you say, Tiafoe's got great court position here. He's well inside the baseline, taking the ball on the rise.
He's trying something different because he feels like he's not going to win the majority of points if he just trades ground strokes.
Oh my goodness. Have you ever seen a ball roll longer on the net than that before popping over? Tiafoe's going to feel very hard done by. Good look here on the 4D.
Off the frame, wasn't it? And he scrambles it, but he's got a long reach, has Medvedev.
Good example there of why you go down the line if you can at times, because it does give you that opportunity to cover at least half the court. You go back cross court there and you get it wrong, you've got no chance to recover.
Lifted his game in the second set. He's playing some good stuff here at the moment. Good penetration out of the middle of the strings there with the forehand. Unusual technique. And puts a bit of extra carry on that forehand volley too.
Love. Got a game. Tiafoe.
Good solid game from the American. He's had more depth. It's troubled Medvedev. This is the best tennis he's played all night, right here. Making his stand here. He needs this set and he knows it. Frances. He's played some spectacular tennis, hasn't he? To get into this position. Not often a player of his caliber would have an air swing there, though.
No, he's just judged it totally wrong, hasn't he? He swung at it and it's gone over the top of his frame. Yes, he can. A little more Melbourne magic here for Frances Tiafoe. What a contest we have on our hands. Set a piece.
Daniil Medvedev.
Statement serve, wasn't it?
Deuce.
Nice recovery.
Oh, yeah. That's the type of thing his opponent does quite often, that one wide there to save a break point. Oh, starting to get a little bit too one-sided in the luck department, isn't it?
The fact that he hits the ball as flat as he does, Fitzy, he's going to get more than his fair share of these.
Reminds me of Ken Rosewell. He seems to be growing in confidence, though.
If he loses this game, it has got to be the unluckiest thing ever.
He's a good character, isn't he?
Deuce.
This comes off the frame, this last one, surely. There it is, off the throat. Hey. Why pay for strings?
Deuce.
And a third chance for Medvedev to break.
Well, he has a little bit of luck himself, Frances. At last, he will be thinking.
Advantage Medvedev.
Earlier in the match about he put his brakes on. I mean, it's a good return, but it does hit it. Look where he is. He stops running.
Well played. Yeah. So, on Medvedev's terms, he has to come in and make himself a little vulnerable at the net, Medvedev.
There's a lot going on in Melbourne tonight, but this will be the best entertainment you'll see.
Entertaining because it showed the habits here of both of them. They're putting in a lot of effort here.
Point for Tiafoe. That's another one saved by the Russian.
Deuce.
With Old Faithful.
Pendulum has been swinging violently in the last couple of games. First one way, then the other. It seemed like a good idea at the time. Medvedev set up for the attacking backhand, thought he'd try and catch Tiafoe napping at the back of the court.
That's just too quick for that.
Deuce. Mr. Tiafoe challenging the call, left service line.
Just
The
to
ball was
prove
called
he
in.
can go both ways, Medvedev.
This will be his quickest serve of the night if it is steamed in. 209 from Medvedev.
Ball stands.
Still got a little extra velocity in reserve for those moments. Oh, skill
49.
level 10 out of 10.
Did you see the grip he had there?
Yep.
Just the wrong shot, wrong choice from Medvedev there. I think what you were inferring was old-fashioned. I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt, but not that one from Medvedev, because Frances was all over that. That was, like we talked about before, when you go forward.
Beautiful finesse on the forehand volley, and he is back amongst it in the third. Terrific from Tiafoe. It had all the ingredients of being entertaining, and it's proven to be.
Tactic is starting to work more. Likes that matchup, Tiafoe. Better than one-on-one at the back of the court. He likes having Medvedev close to the net. There we go.
But a showtime. Well, if there's one shot, Fitzy, that shows just how he has improved over the last hour and 3/4, it's that opening game of the match. He was woeful with a couple of volleys, and one just like that as well, which fell, well, it didn't even make the net.
Gone to another level for him, hasn't he? Here, he's in this match. Tiafoe, give him credit. You know, he's found a way to improve here.
Almost 100-mile-an-hour winner. The disguise was as immense as the speed.
Is it turning? Own responsibility here, I think, Daniil. He's under pressure because Frances Tiafoe's lifted his game. This time he gets a bit of luck himself.
Again, Medvedev.
Determined hold. It wasn't comfortable by any
Medvedev
stretch of the
leads 5 games to
imagination. What a way to do it.
And third set.
Well, he has really
Medvedev.
given us a couple of highlights tonight, the
6
Russian,
games
and
to
that is
4.
another to add to the collection.
Medvedev leads.
Huge
2 sets
moment.
to 1.
How's he going to pick himself up here?
Yeah, it's mentally tough here. He needs to be strong. Because Medvedev is a bit of a front runner too. If he gets a sniff of victory, he hurries through points.
Steady love. Game, Medvedev.
So they just
First
trying to
game.
hurry and chase that one down.
Well, he's pushing. Good answer.
Giving him the option of going down the line, but also going back cross court, and this three-quarter backhand in terms of the length to the line has taken Medvedev off court.
Well,
Medvedev
he does that
challenging
quite
the
often.
call. Left baseline. The ball was called in.
I think that looked a long way long. I thought.
Fergus thinks it's in. Put his thumb up.
Wow. Okay. Well, there you go. That's why Fergus is in charge and I'm not. But he does that often, doesn't he? Well, I think he got.
Medvedev.
Yeah, I think it touched the tape as it went over. He got some help from the net cord.
Medvedev lead.
I think this touches the tape, and if it didn't, it just brushed it, I think. Made it difficult for Tiafoe.
And although there is a route back that has appeared for Tiafoe, it will be difficult for him to
14.
navigate it.
Oh, wonderful. Played a good one on the break point, didn't he?
Has looked just a touch underpowered. Against the in-form Russian. A nicely constructed puzzle
Love
from
15.
Tiafoe. He just forgot the last piece, which was to drill the backhand.
Game.
Some more
Medvedev.
self-inflicted pain from Tiafoe. His consistency hasn't just been able to match Medvedev's throughout this contest. We're at 2 hours and 20 minutes right now.
2-1.
Well, that was just the pressure of the moment, wasn't it? Well, that's what happens when you're training 2 sets to 1 and a break against a great player. Or was that his last chance?
A bit more entertainment for us.
When he hit a brilliant shot that Medvedev somehow tracked out from a similar situation here. Got his racket on it, the Russian, but that was all. And he finishes strongly in the end. There was a few nervous moments. At times he was actually second best in the contest between these two. But ultimately he prevails. And Fitzy, a guy like Medvedev, he's one of those players that sometimes you need to kind of struggle with early on in their career to finally get to a stage where you ultimately admire them immensely. And I think that's where we all are with the Russian now.